Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's funny? People say they want to change their life, but when you ask them how much time they gave to their dream today, they look confused. They say, I was busy. Busy doing what? Busy watching other people live their dream. Let me tell you something. You don't need a new year to change your life. You just need one focused hour every single day. 1 hour. That's it. But that 1 hour, it has to be yours, not your boss's, not your friends, not your phone's yours. The problem is we treat our time like it's free, but cry when we lose money. People lose hours scrolling, gossiping, watching just one more episode, and then say, I wish I had time to work on myself. My friend, you did have time. You just gave it to someone else. Look around you. The world is not unfair. It's just divided between people who waste hours and those who use them. You can spend 1 hour watching reels of someone else's success or 1 hour building your own. The difference only time. Let me tell you a small story. A guy I met years ago used to complain daily, I have no time. He worked 9 to 6, came home tired, opened Netflix, scrolled until midnight. One day, he decided just 1 hour every night before bed. I'll study digital marketing. 1 hour every day, no excuses. 1 year later, he was running his own agency. Same 24 hours, same man, just one different decision. And that's what most people don't understand. Your life doesn't change in 1 year. It changes the moment you decide to give 1 hour to yourself every day. That's when your new life starts. People say 1 hour can't change anything. Really? Then how come 1 hour of Netflix can change your mood? 1 hour of arguing can ruin your whole day. 1 hour of focus can't change your life. Of course it can. You just never tried. Here's the truth. Success doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to the most consistent. And consistency starts with that one golden hour every day. No distractions, no noise, just you working quietly while everyone else is too tired. Because in that 1 hour, you are not ordinary anymore. That's the hour that separates you from 99% of the world. That's the hour that decides who you'll be 1 year from now. So from today, I want you to remember one simple line. If you can win 1 hour, you can win your life. So the big question is, what do you actually do in that 1 hour? Because if you spend that 1 hour overthinking what to do, congratulations, you've just wasted it. Let me tell you this, that 1 hour is not about doing everything. It's about doing one thing that moves your life forward. Just one thing. See, most people don't have a time problem. They have a focus problem. They don't know what to give their attention to. One day they want to start a business. Next day they want to become a content creator. Third day they're watching 10 ways to make money while you sleep. My friend, you're not even awake properly. Forget sleeping rich. Let's be real. You can't build a new life in 1 day, but you can start shaping it in 1 hour. And that starts with clarity. Ask yourself what skill, what habit, what small action could make my life better in 1 year. Then dedicate that 1 hour daily to it like it's a meeting with your future self. If you want to get fit, 1 hour. If you want to learn a skill, 1 hour. If you want to build confidence, 1 hour. If you want to get financially strong, 1 hour of learning how money actually works. But whatever you choose, make it non-negotiable. You know what I noticed? People give their best energy to their jobs, their schools, their bosses, and when it's time to work on themselves, they say, I'm too tired. Of course you're tired. You gave your whole day to building someone else's dream. And that 1 hour at night, that's the only time left to build your own. 1 hour of your dream beats 10 hours of your job because 1 hour builds your future. 10 hours just pays for your present. Let me give you a relatable example. You know those people who say, I want to start a small business, but spend hours watching people who already did it. They know every success story on social media except their own. Imagine if they spent just one of those hours daily learning how to start, how to market, how to sell. They'd already be on their way. You see the pattern. It's not about time, it's about trade. You trade your hours for something: entertainment, comfort, excuses, or growth. And the smartest people trade at least 1 hour daily for their own growth. That's why one focused hour is more valuable than an entire distracted day. In 1 hour, you can design a plan, learn a new skill, improve your mindset, or simply sit quietly and think about your next move. Thinking with purpose is better than scrolling without one. So next time you say, "I don't have time," just be honest. You do have time. You just haven't decided that your dream deserves it yet. At first, when you start giving yourself 1 hour a day, you won't notice anything. No fireworks, no big change, no miracle. In fact, it'll feel boring because growth never feels exciting at the start. It feels useless. You'll be sitting there reading, learning, planning, and a small voice in your head will say, "This isn't working. Nothing's changing." But that's where most people quit, because they expect instant results from a slow process. Let me tell you something. Your life doesn't change while you're working. It changes because you worked. Change happens quietly behind the scenes. Like your phone updating while you sleep. You don't see it, but the next morning it runs smoother. That's what your 1 hour is doing for your life. You might not see the change after 7 days, but in 70 days, your friends will start to notice. In 6 months, your mindset will feel different. And in 1 year, your whole life will look different. You'll start talking differently. You'll start walking with confidence. You'll stop wasting time arguing or explaining yourself because you'll be too busy building something that makes noise on its own. People will say, "You've changed." And you'll smile and think, "Of course I have. I gave myself time to." Let me give you a relatable story. I once met a guy who used to waste hours on video games. One day he decided 1 hour a day he'd learn coding instead. First month, nothing happened. Second month, still nothing. Third month, he built a small app. 1 year later, he was freelancing online, earning more than his job. Now, people call him lucky. But he's not lucky. He's consistent. That's what 1 hour does. It makes you lucky in slow motion. You start realizing something powerful. You don't need motivation every day. You need momentum. And that 1 hour daily gives you exactly that. It's like planting a tree. If you water it daily, it grows. If you dig it out every week to check progress, it dies. Success grows the same way, slowly, silently, but surely. And the best part, after a few months, that 1 hour becomes your favorite part of the day because it's yours. It's the only time you feel proud, alive, and in control. That's when you start realizing you're not just working on your goals. You're becoming the kind of person who achieves them. Here's the funny thing about progress. When you start giving 1 hour a day to yourself, suddenly the world starts treating you differently. Not because they changed, but because you did. See, most people live on autopilot. They wake up, rush to work, complain, scroll, sleep, repeat. Life becomes like an old playlist. Same songs, just different days. But the moment you decide to give even 1 hour to your own growth, you quietly step out of that cycle. You start seeing what others can't see. That most people are busy, not productive, tired, not fulfilled, connected online, but disconnected from themselves. And that 1 hour daily, it's your way out of that trap. At first, people around you will laugh. "Oh, you're reading now. Oh, learning something new again." They'll roll their eyes, joke about it. But wait a few months, those same people will message you for advice, because success is quiet in the beginning and loud in the end. You'll notice how your circle changes. When you grow, you outgrow. The people who used to gossip with you will suddenly feel boring. The people who talk about ideas, plans, growth, they'll start feeling magnetic. That's when you know your mindset has upgraded. And it all started with 1 hour. Let me give you an example. There's this young woman. She used to work at a local store. Always tired, always complaining that life was unfair. One day she said, "Fine, I'll give 1 hour every night to learning digital marketing." She didn't have money for courses, so she watched free tutorials online. 6 months later, she got a freelance client. 1 year later, she quit her job. Now she earns 5 times more working from home, all because she invested 1 unpaid hour a day before anyone believed in her. That's the power of your unseen hours. People see your results, not your routines. They'll say, "You're lucky," but they didn't see those quiet nights where you were learning while others were watching Netflix. You know what's ironic? We all have 1 free hour every day, but most people use it to escape their life instead of upgrading it. They say, "I don't have time while watching just 1 more episode." They say, "I'll start tomorrow every single day." And then they look at someone successful and say they had opportunities. No, they had discipline. Even scientifically, 1 hour of deep focus daily compounds like crazy. Imagine 1 hour of reading, 365 days. That's 365 hours of learning in a year. That's like doing a master's degree on your own. 1 hour of working out daily, you'll be unrecognizable in 6 months. 1 hour of writing, planning, creating, you'll build something the world will notice. You don't need more time. You need to use the time you already have for yourself. And here's the biggest shift that happens when you start working on yourself every day. You stop blaming others. You stop waiting for motivation. You start feeling responsible for your life. You no longer say, "I can't." You start saying, "How can I?" That's a powerful transformation, because now you realize the world doesn't change when you complain. It changes when you improve yourself. And that 1 hour daily is the weapon you use to build a future no one thought you could. You know what's funny? People say 1 hour can't change my life, but they spend 5 hours a day scrolling through other people's lives. So clearly 1 hour does have power. It's just a matter of who you give it to. Think about it. If your screen time can build a billionaire's company, imagine what your focus time can build for you. See, one day you'll realize your phone is not the problem. Your priorities are because you say, "I don't have time." But if Netflix released a new show tonight, suddenly time appears out of nowhere like magic. People become night owls when it's about entertainment, but half dead-ad zombies when it's about improvement. Let me tell you the truth. The biggest life upgrade doesn't come from buying a new phone. It comes from using your old brain differently for just 1 hour a day. Now, when you start doing this, giving 1 hour daily to your goals, it's not glamorous. Nobody claps when you read a book. Nobody celebrates when you watch a tutorial or write ideas in your notebook. There's no applause, no likes, no comments. It's just you and your future quietly forming in the dark. But one day, that silence becomes a roar. That's the day people start asking, "Bro, what happened to you? You're different." And you'll smile and think nothing happened overnight. It's been happening every night, because change doesn't send notifications. It just shows up one morning when you realize you've outgrown your old habits, your old mindset, and your old life. Now, let's get real. At first, you'll miss a few days. You'll feel lazy. Your brain will say, "Just skip today. One day doesn't matter." But that's the same brain that said that last year. And look where that got you. Still thinking about starting. So stop negotiating with your excuses. Show up even when it's boring, because growth is boring before it's beautiful. When you give yourself that 1 hour daily, something magical happens. You start respecting yourself. You start trusting yourself again. You start realizing that you are not lazy. You are just uninspired. And the more you show up, the more confidence you build. Not the fake kind, not the post a quote and feel powerful kind. The real confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. Let me tell you how life rewards that. When you give 1 hour daily to learning, life gives you opportunities that used to scare you. When you give 1 hour to your health, life gives you energy that others can't match. When you give 1 hour to your goals, life gives you peace because you finally know you're moving forward. And guess what? That 1 hour daily starts affecting everything else. You start eating better. You start talking differently. You start saying no to nonsense because your brain finally values your time. You'll even start losing some friends. The ones who get allergic to your growth. They'll say you've changed. And you'll say, yes, I finally upgraded from complaining to creating. See, you can't complain about your life if you're not giving it even 1 hour a day. You can't expect $1 million dream with 5-minute effort. And you can't pray for a better future while worshiping distractions. You don't need a big plan. Just start with 60 minutes. That's all it takes to move from someday to started. Because here's the truth. Your dream version of yourself already exists. It's not waiting for money, luck, or magic. It's waiting for consistency. Every single time you choose your 1 hour, you're shaking hands with that future version of you. And one day when you look back, you'll laugh at how something so small changed everything. You'll realize it was never one big decision. It was hundreds of small hours where you refused to quit. So the next time your brain says just 1 hour won't matter, smile and say, you're right. It won't matter today, but it'll matter every day after, because 1 hour a day won't make you a millionaire overnight, but it'll make you the kind of person who can become one. So from today, make a deal with yourself. No matter how tired, how busy, how distracted you are, you'll give 1 sacred hour to your growth. Every day, no excuses, because remember this, the clock is always ticking. The only question is, are you using your hours to escape your life or to build it? 1 hour a day can't change the whole world, but it can absolutely change yours. And when it does, you won't need to tell anyone. They'll see it. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.